In this video, we're going to talk about what I think is one of the most fun parts of writing a song, and that is when you have a melody that sounds good and you need chords to go with it. Now, how do you make chords to go with it? Well, what you do is you identify which scale, which key you're in, and in this case, this is the melody from the song that we're working on. Here we are in the B minor scale, and that means that I can go back to what we started with. The melody is from this B minor scale, which is also these notes, and that means that I have to build my chords off of some of these notes. Now I can just primarily focus on these strings here. So some of these notes will be the foundation for the chords in my song. It's really not more advanced than that, but you have to find the right ones. So let's listen to the melody. Yeah, Guitar Pro sounds horrible, but that's just what we're gonna have to live with here. It's a lot more practical to show you in the Guitar Pro than with the actual guitar. So what I did here is I tabbed in the chords that I'm actually using in the song, so you can hear how it matches up. Sounds pretty good. It's the chord pattern is just repeating itself, and it's really simple. We're going still with the keep it simple method, and but let's try something else. Let's kind of do this from the start. So the mistake that a lot of people make when they're writing chords for the first time is that they think that you constantly have to play a new chord. Let's say you're starting with the root note. Sounds good. But then they think, oh, the melody is moving up 2 notes. Maybe I have to move the chords up 2 notes. And here it's moving up a half note again. So I have to move it along with it. And yeah, I'm confusing the words notes and tones all the time. Sorry about that. And of course you might think that, hey, that doesn't sound too bad. Let's just do this all the time. Let's keep following here. Let's see. Let's hear how this stuff sounds. Let's see. And you can hear that it kind of it sounds okay, but it kind of sounds tiresome. You get tired out listening to it. It sounds annoying almost. It doesn't really make the notes shine. So what you have to do is you have to allow yourself to play the same chord over several parts of the melody. So let's make this first chord, and then maybe go to this. So here we're making each chord last 2 bars. And here we're going to try something else. That didn't really sound good. That didn't sound good either. Let's go here. Sounds okay. And then we can go like this maybe. Let's listen to this. So there we have another variation. And as you can see, what I'm doing here is I'm still basing my chords off of these exact frets and strings here. It's really simple and you just have to experiment with it. Now, what is a nice rule of thumb is that it usually sounds good. Usually sounds the best to start the riff or to start the chords of the chorus or chords below any melody with the root note, which is B in our case. But we can also start with this with an E and then go down to the B. And then go up. And then go down here. Let's listen to this. And that did not sound really good. Now, why am I just experimenting here and why don't I just know what fits? Well, it's because if you want to learn music theory and apply music theory to everything you do, you have to learn a lot of it. You have to get really extremely good at it. You have to spend a lot of time learning the theory. And if you just learn a little bit of theory and try to use that on everything, it's just going to sound forced. It's not going to sound natural. It's going to sound like you're limiting yourself. And that's why I want you to experiment. That's why I want you to experiment doing different things. And that's why you can also try using chords that are not based off any of these. But beware that it's usually not going to sound good. But I want you to experiment with it. I want you to try different things. And all of a sudden you're going to find something that sounds good. And you have no idea why it sounds good. But that's usually the best things in music production. When you make something that sounds good, but you have no idea why. So I hope this gives you a kind of a basic understanding of how, at least how I put chords under my melodies. And this goes for everything I do when there's melodies involved and I want chords underneath it. And it's basically a lot of trial and error. And but it's what I do, and it's what I've had good success with doing. Now, when you've finished your song, you need to release it somewhere, and the best service out there to release your music is through DistroKid. DistroKid is a service where you basically just pay $20 a year and you can release as much music as you want to all the big services like iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, Google Music, YouTube Music, anything. And they've also added some new cool features lately, including the synchronized global release, which basically lets you ignore time zones when you release music. So that if you release music on a specific date, people around the world can listen to it instantaneously and don't have to wait until their time zone says the same time as the country that you released it in, and so on. It basically gives you the power to control the time zones of your music releases.